Good morning, guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Hasan Zeki Alp. You know me. I've been presenting you modern programming languages in my YouTube channel, and today we're gonna perform the last lesson of Java programming language. I hope so far you have understood. You have understood, and you have comprehend all bits and pieces of lesson that I've been presented so far. And before starting our last lesson, I have to mention one more thing. This has been somehow an elementary level of Java language, in fact, and of course there will be some extras, much more lessons and much more tips about Java, especially for the new versions of Java, such as Java 7, Java 9, and within this framework, I make it a little bit short. Actually, it's not short. It's about 100 lessons, 100 snippets. And after completing this course, please keep watching my channel, and I will come with surprises, with hints, with tips for Java programming, and that's all. And for the time being, I'd like to start up our last lesson. Okay, enjoy. Okay, as far as I remember, in our last example, we have presented you class structures and some thread structures, and this time I'd like to start up our lesson with one example. I here define a class, okay, my Java file, with in coincidence with our file name, and this is our main method. So it's so simple, and just there is only one member variable here, integer value of 7, and just I here divide by 0 this value number, so it's expected that it's gonna cause error, and just here I give some explanation about that, and after that I will when we see the error message, I'll go on with our example. Okay, the error message, exception in thread main Java blah 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 by 0, and this is the arithmetic exception, because it's gonna result infinity value, so it's impossible to express it within a computer language, so it simply gives this exception. So how to handle with this kind of exceptions? In fact, I here okay, there is no explanatory example for exception handling. As far as I remember, I have given an example for that. Okay, let's go on with array list. In order to use array list utilities, capabilities, you have to import java.util.arraylist module, and after having importing this one, just we will be able to use its possibilities, its utilities, and here within our main method, I define I create an instance of our array list. Okay, and okay, just it stands for the repetition of that string, that symbol. That's why there was a tilde over there. And here I define a color instance, so as an instance of this array list, and the array list accepts strings. Okay, and the thing here, just to add members, just to add contents for this array list, and the magic word for that, the keyword is add. Colors.add will do that, and within this quotation marks, just we can indicate what is to be added into this array list, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 4 members will be added, and just there is another method here in order to remove that could be accidentally added to our list. So the added green member will be removed by means of this remove method, and after that I simply recall our print line method, and it's gonna be printed the array named, which is named color. And right away I'd like to run this one. Okay, as it is expected, the 3 members, red, blue and orange, that have been added to our array list one by one, will be printed within array list structure, as you see here. Okay. And how about our next example here? Okay, since I go on with our array operations, our array procedures, I have to also import this array list, java.util.array list. This is a must. Before defining any class structure, you have to use this import procedure here. And I define my Java file 86, and okay, yes, and I also create another instance of this array list because it's gonna be added new members such as list.add A, list.add B, list.add C. So after adding these 3 members, all 3 members, I'd like to get it printed, and I'd like to introduce you another method here, get method. Just it gets the specified member of that relevant list. How it is specified? It's specified by index number. In fact, that one, the figure 1, stands for indexing. Just think that index 0, index 1, index 2, and by mentioning index 1, so B is going to be printed on the screen as it is expected. Okay, let me run this file, this code snippet. Okay, as you see, B ladder is printed on the screen. What I want to repeat here, okay, this import keyword and this package, this belongs to which lesson that I've been including all this stuff, lesson 8. You have to mention this package and import procedures in order to use array methods such as add and get and remove that we have used at the previous example, and new and this structure. This is the this is an object creation method of an array list. This is an object creation. Okay, this is an instance, and that's all. And okay, here I'd like to give an example of linked list, vice versa, array list. So in order to use linked list methods, you have to import it also, this method, linked list method. Import java.util.linked list with uppercase letters. Just you have to remember this. And here, this is my class, my Java file 87. Okay, just you can see here. And this is my main method. And I here once again create an instance of this linked list. Okay, this must be a string. Okay, and the name that I've been given for this instance, this object, is C. So that's means I must see this letter, and after that, by dotting and point, I can easily recall our method. C dot add blue and etc. green and orange, and this time I'd like to remove the green member, the green one. Okay, and in order to print one by one, or a specified member with a specified index number, just I can prefer such a structure to list out all the members that might belong to this linked list. And the structure is a for loop, string s belongs to C. That must be C, and please do this. This is translated like this, and for each time that our loop runs, S will be printed out. So S stands for the member for the array list, and just we can expect that blue and orange will be printed on the screen. And blue and orange is gonna be printed, because we have already removed this green item, so it's not be printed within the loop of this for structure. And let me show you another example here. This one. This time I'm gonna show you an example of hash map. Hash map just is related to dictionary structure, data structures in Python, like in Python, and just after mentioning this similarity, I can show you the other part. Okay, here by importing hash map methods that could be easily utilized within our main method. And after all, I have to create an instance of this hash map. Okay, and its name, the name of the instance is points. So just I can use points dot put and points dot remove and points dot get, etc. Such kind of methods related with hash map. Okay, just as you can see, and the structure once again you can look here. It is created. It contains some dual members such as key and data, key and value. So you have to mention two arguments. In fact, one is gonna be string, and the other is integer. This is a special case for this one. That's not necessarily be the same for all examples or all other applications. This is just regarded for this specific example. I must mention this, and by calling points dot put and the doublet Amy, 154, and another member method recalling Dave 42, Mo 999, and Rob 973. 733. And just after that, I try to remove Muho without mentioning any other thing. It runs, it works like this, and after that just I'd like to get it printed, the key, the data related with key Dave, and after that Muho, probably there will be nothing for this one, and for this one it's gonna recall the related value related to data, that means 42, and let's run and see the result right away. Okay, just it's expected 42, that's related with Dave, as a duality. It gives 42. How about this one? Since we have already removed the data related with Muho, so just it would look up, and it could not find any related data for Muho, so null will be printed out on the screen. They will be printed, Muho will be printed as null. And how about another example? Okay, hash map. This is another hash map method usage, and just I'd like to show you put, remove, add methods that can be used with hash map. First of all, you have to import this module, and I here create an instance of hash map as named as called m, and the other is the same. Okay, just you can see. And this time both is a string. Just as you remember, the second has been integer, and this time first is string, and the second part of this hash map will be a string also. And just by recalling this put method, m.put a comma first, and b comma second, and c comma third, will feed our hash map structure one by one. So after that, just by recalling this m.get b, this is the indication for the index that corresponds to second. So the second will be printed out on the screen as a result of recalling this method. Okay, just as I said, second will be printed out on the screen. And how about the other? Okay, just this is an example for hash set. So similarly, we can use put, remove, and add methods with a hash set. The only condition is that you must have imported this hash set by means of java.util.hashset, and within this our main method, just I right away create an instance of our hash set by mentioning a name set, and it's gonna accept only one argument, because it's a set also, because sets are single members, one by one, just I can say it, can be added. And this time I can add one by one manually by using add method. And after that, when I finished adding members to our hash set, just I would like to mention its name. Just it's enough for that, and it's gonna print out the list as ABC. This is set, not list, sorry. This is a set configuration. And how about the next one here? This stands for the simple previous things, the same previous things. 3 dot. Okay, this time this just indicates you that array list and related methods will be called within this code snippet that is translated like this. And how about this one? So related with collections will be called or used within this structure that's translated like this, or others saying, in order to use this and this methods related with array list and collections, you have to import it, import the relevant methods previously. That's a must. And how about our object creation. I here create an object such as called animals. Okay, this is going to be an instance of array list. In fact, it will include a string. That means alphanumeric things, names or animal names, other saying, and animals dot add and within quotation marks. Okay, tiger, cat, snake, dog, and that. At the end of this line, okay, that's already added 4 animals, okay, within our array list. So just in order to sort, in order to make it sorted, this array list, we must import our this method, sort method. Sort is a member of collections, in fact, and just mentioning sort and animals will enough to get it sorted, and after that I simply print out animals array list, and let me show this one. Snake, dog, cat, dog, snake, tiger, cat, dog, snake, tiger will be printed as it is, as is sorted, that is displayed on the screen. What is important here to mention once again, this is array list and collections methods. In order to use this one, we have to import relevant module, of course, and this is the instance creation. Okay, just you must have been familiar about this notation, and this is the array list, this is the instance name, new keyword, and this is the array list once again with arguments, string or string comma integer or string comma integer string, and add method and sort method and our conventional print line method. Okay, it's printed out on screen. And again, one more example, one more. Okay, just I would like to give another example for sorting the list. And once again, array list and collections modules must have been imported by using this import keyword. And here, once again, I create an instance of this array list. Okay, just it's gonna accept only one argument. That's going to be that's string. Okay, by recalling this method list.add for A and list.add for C, I arbitrarily enter the members into this array list, and after that, just it could be expected from us to be sorted this list. And in order to do this, you have to recall this method collections dot sort, and this is the object, this is the instance to be sorted. Okay, after sorting mechanism, just simply you can use this get method in order to get it printed the first element, or other saying the member with index number 0. So it seems A is going to be printed because it's the very first letter of the alphabet. Okay. Yes. And what is next? I here use sorting list, another example, and in this time it's integer instead of strings. That's to say, it's a number, real numbers, not integer numbers. And after that, just by mentioning this sort method with mentioning its name, the instance name, it does the same thing, and it's printed as it is sorted without any missing elements because it's already mentioned only name. So that means all members of this array will be printed one by one in a single line, in the same line or the other chain. Okay, iterators. Iterator class provides has next, and remove. In other programming languages, iterators or generators that could be named are heavily used. So I here intended to give some examples for iterators, and of course, there's been much more methods other than these three methods. However, just by clicking the help or clicking the this keyword with the interrogation mark, just you could reach the other members that could be used with this Iterator class. Here, linked list and iterators must have been imported as it is expected here, and here I create an instance of linked list here. Okay, just it's gonna accept an argument, so it's to be string, and animals.add will enough to add a fox, a string, into our linked list, and fox, cat, dog, and rabbit. So it's going to be a four-membered linked list. So here I create another an instance of this iterator, animals iterator class. So just focus on here, you guys, because as it is already said, iterator is somehow class that have relevant methods inside it that could be used, and by mentioning iterator.next parenthesis is to be assigned as a value, as a string value here. Just you can consider it from right to left. Okay, this is not an equation, in fact, just assignment, as you remember, and value, string value, will be assigned as the next member of this iterator. Okay, this is translated just like that, and after that I make it printed by using this print line method, the value. Okay, and how about that string value next? I here define another value next variable, so it's gonna be next. Okay. Each time I here define a distinct variable here in order not to cause any confusion. That's why I use another number and another name here. So iterator.next will do the same once again, and iterator value underscore next to gonna do the same thing. So just as a result, just fox, cat, dog will be printed one by one. Okay, fox and dot. Okay, because the first one and the third one is printed. This is a trick here. Just I defined here a value next. However, I have not used it by means of print line method. That's why the member that coming after fox, okay, cat, and coming before a dog, cat once again, is not printed. Here it's normal, because just think that this is the member with index number 0 and index number 2. How about index number 1? Index number 1 is of course a cat. By just making it active, just we could get another result, of course, different from the previous one. So it's expected that cat will be inserted here, or cat will be added. Cat will be dogs, cat, fox, cat, and dog will be printed as it is expected. So this is an example just to be careful about using the instances of variables. Each time during an iteration you can assign a variable. However, you have to be careful about that it's used or not, or it is printed or not, or it's implemented or not. That's the purpose of this example, you guys. Okay, Iterator class also has next, and remove. Another example, I here define an instance of linked list class, and its name is animals, an instance, and one by one I add some animal genders into our linked list, animals list, and 1, 2, 3, 4 members. It's include 4 members, and here I create another instance of our animals.iterator class. So its name iterator, that stands for iterator, and this is the while loop. So when you see while loop, you have to consider that as long as this condition is true, okay, the other part will be performed as long as the condition is true for this expression. Okay, that's to say shortly, this block will be performed each time as long as the condition will be met here. So what's the condition? In fact, iterator dot has next. So that means as long as there exists a next example, next member, so this loop will exist, and after that it's gonna vanish, it's gonna complete and finished. And that's to say, at each time a value will be printed out. Structure is very simple, it's very straightforward, and excuse me. Okay, I have already imported the relevant class, relevant methods, and here, after creating an instance of animals object, I add 1, 2, 3, 4 members, and after that I'd like to construct an iterator structure. So I have to create another instance for it. It stands for iterator, animals that iterator, and I once again repeat this while loop once again. So the condition, the unique condition is that it dot has next exists. That means the result of this method recalling give a positive or affirmative result. So this loop will exist, this loop will be run, that's translated like that, and each time value that its type string will be assigned as the next value of this iterator, and after that at another line the value will be printed out as a result of this print line method recalling, and that's all. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Our while loop is repeated 4 times, and for each time it just get with the next member of this array, this linked list, and after getting that relevant member. It's already printed here, and it's repeated once again. It get the next member, and it's already assigned this one, and it's printed, and so on. This loop is repeated 4 times so as to get it printed all members of this linked list. And this is an example for the iteration iterator method application implementation. Okay, here I have already completed iterators, and we'll going to handle with files, working with files. We will work with files. So in order to use file implementation methods, we have to already imported java.io.file utility, and by doing this, it's already available for us file IO names such as get name and exist, etc. So you guys, after recalling our main method, are here. Just look here. Maybe it causes some mind confusion. However, just start with the very right side. Okay. After the assignment sign equal sign or other saying, a new keyword must be placed here. Okay, and after that the file that's gonna be handled, that's gonna be manipulated, must be indicated here, and this must be the same. Okay, this one and this, and this is the instance, or this is an object of this class. Okay, file class. Okay, it's up to you to assign anything here. Just file, could be file, or my file, other file, this file, that could be any one that you could indicate whatever you wish. And here just look the structure. This is the root that could be reached for the specified file here, and just I'd like to mention this backslashes in normal DOS commands or Windows commands. Normal backslash one slash is used. However, this one double slash is used. Just I'm not sure that I've been created a file, input file within this relevant root or not. However, just I have to mention this one, and within quotation marks and semicolon, we do not forget. And after that, okay, that means at the end of this line, that means I have already created an instance of this file as specified with small case file. Okay, and what about this if loop? I here make a logical comparison here. If file dot exist, just as in spoken English, as file if file exists, that's translated like this. Exist in fact is a member function regarding with file class, and as long as this condition will give a true result, a true expression result, logical result, so this would be performed. And what it is expected from us is going to be called out the printline method, and file.getName, and file name will be recalled by means of this getName method, and this string will be printed out, and all these two both will be concatenated by means of this plus sign. What if file does not exist? So the other branch will be performed. That's to say, it's going to say that a file, the relevant file, does not exist, or could not be found. And here just the file does not exist. That means at the relevant structure, here there is no such a file. There is no file at all. Data. And how about this one? Just I'd like to show you this one for you. A.txt file. There exists such a file. Before starting explanation, paraphrasing this one, I have to indicate this one. Okay, this is the next one. Okay, and once again, I create an instance of my file, and the root, the directory path is a.txt. When there is no explanatory information regarding for the root or the other part, just you can consider that we're talking about the existing, the current directory, current place. And I once again construct our if structure. If file exists, so what's to be done? It's to be said, it's to be printed out on the screen. Yes, simply yes. And what if there is no such a file? There will be a message on the screen. No, there is no such a file. However, as you see, as I indicated to you beforehand, here there exists, there does exist, of course, such a file. So when we run this small code snippet, well, we are expected to see. No, just. Of course there is. However, okay, let me go on with another one. No, there is no such a file. Okay, that means it does not accept the specified notation. Okay, let me show you another example in order to overcome this difficulty. Yes. This time, instead of mentioning it as a single file name and file extension, okay, just look here. This time, just I heavily indicated the correct place or the full line, full address that our 8.txt file resides on. This is my other hard drive, and this is the directory that I've been stored our YouTube lessons and source, and this is blah blah blah. Okay, and this is the ending a.txt. So by mentioning this full address path, of course this interrogation will give a positive result or true logic, other saying, and it's gonna be expected yes. And after that, another line will be printed. Blah 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 blah. File exists. A.txt file exists. Okay. Just by indicating this example, you must understand that when you interrogate whether a file exists or not, you have to mention, you have to indicate full path. Otherwise, even if there is a file within the current directory, it does not look up, it does not give an answer, give a positive answer. So you have to shortly indicate full path. Let me show you, what was that? 98. Okay, how about 99? I here I go on handling with file. Okay, this time I will accept user info, user data input here, and in order to use user data, you have to scan the input device. In fact, the sorry. By means of this module, you can use keyboard, user keyboard, and maybe you are not accustomed, you are not familiar with this module. However, I have to mention here, of course, you have to import another module here that's name file not found exception. Okay, it's a long, somehow long, however you have to import this one, otherwise you cannot use the specific methods. That's all. I here define my class 99, and within our main method, okay, just I construct a try catch loop. Okay, try catch, just in order to do some things in case an error is encountered during our implementation, code implementation, just like this. Try is the first part, and you indicate here that's to be tested as a desired thing that could be find out whether it is true or not. And after that, if you are tangling with file implementation, if you are using file open, file close, you must not forget to close that one. So that's why you have to mention close method once again. And after that, after this try block, you have to catch, and you have to throw an error to the outside, or you have to print out a message for the user in order to draw its attention. Okay, this is the class that could be recalled, and this will E stands for error, and after that you simply recall this print line method, and error will be printed out. Just focus on its inside this time. I here create an instance of my file, and specified name is like this. Okay. I hope there exists such a file within this relevant root, and by indicating new scanner, okay, it's new scanner X, and X will be accepted, will be scanned by the user equipment, IO equipment, and SC is the instance name, and while SC has next value, do this. And it's gonna it's gonna print line each next element that user could be entered on the keyboard, and after that, or others say just you can consider this as a data entry mechanism for a file that has a txt extension. Okay. Line by line, it's gonna accept line by line. Just as I remember, next stands for byte, I think. That means character by character. I'm not sure. Just we can see when we run this one. Okay. File not found. Simply there does not exist such a file, so it gave an error, file not found. Just you can see that in order to use this part, at least you have to import this relevant method, relevant model, you guys. Otherwise, if you do not mention this one, even if you written such notation, it would not work, it would not run, and so that could cause a bug. In fact, you have to remember by adding this line. Of course, a good file for the specified root with a specified name. And how about this one? And once again the same. This time I have to import another class here, formatter. For what purpose? I create an instance of this formatter class, data text txt, and this is a try block. How about catch? Catch just stands for exception, catching the exception, and to make it printed a message to the outside world. And this causes error will be printed out, and this message relevant to this lesson will be printed out as a result of all this 100 after all these 100 lessons. Let me run this one. Okay, and when I run this small code snippet, it's gonna look up to this directory. However, when there is not such a file, it would say that there is not such a file, and this causes error. And after that, this is the end of Java lessons. Thank you for your watching. Message will be printed out on the screen. Yes, guys. So after 100, after reviewing this 100 Java code snippets, I think that's been an elementary beginning introductory for Java programming. And what I suggest, what I recommend you, after all, just I can prepare some extra short lessons, such as hints or tips for specific areas that you might need extra examples in order to comprehend, in order to understand much more, such as threads, such as linked list, array list, hash map, in future, in near future. In case I will have enough time, I will try to do my best just to provide you useful available lessons. And for the time being, thanks for your time, for watching me, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and keep in peace. Thanks once again. Bye bye.